And if you want to fight me before you watch this entire video, you have to Venmo me $5 for me to respond. My Venmo is at SABGDREY. Hi guys, my name's Sabrina, welcome back to the channel. Today we are revisiting the topic of Asian fishing. I already made a video about this, I think, in October, so that was a few months ago. I'll put it in the card up here, I think. Go watch it because I'm not going to address any of the points that I make in there in as much detail as I did back there. So the reason why I want to revisit this topic is because back in October, Asian fishing was a growing problem on TikTok, but ever since then it hasn't really stopped. In fact, I think it's gotten kind of worse, even though so many Asian creators on there are pointing out all the times people are being racist to Asians, all the times that people are Asian fishing, and as a result, my video has been gaining more attention and more people are commenting things on there that I didn't address in the video that I want to kind of talk more about. When people watch my video, the most frequently asked question is, I just do my makeup this way, is it Asian fishing? Or people just like kind of aren't really understand how just doing your makeup can be Asian fishing. So I'm Filipino. I feel like I have credibility to talk about this topic because I am Asian. If you just do winged eyeliner or angular makeup or do K-pop inspired makeup, Korean inspired makeup, it's fine. Like this I wouldn't consider Asian fishing. It's just makeup. And there's also a problem on TikTok where lots of people comment on people's posts like, you're Asian fishing, but they're not Asian themselves, and then the person in the video isn't even Asian fishing at all, they're just doing their makeup. This is performative activism. If you're not Asian and you're speaking over Asian voices, it's not helping the problem, you are hurting us. And like most of the time, the people that these performative activists are calling out are actually Asian, so like, you're just not doing anything to help further the movement to like stop this problem, you know, like please listen to actual Asian voices rather than speaking over us and speaking for us if you yourself are not Asian. Some people are really just doing their makeup for fun. Winged eyeliner has been a thing forever. The problem comes in when you do your makeup with the intention, specifically the intention of looking more stereotypically Asian, looking like another race, or looking racially ambiguous. If your intention is like, oh, I have to do this makeup a certain way so that people will think I'm Asian or half Asian or whatever, or if you like do your makeup and say, I don't look Asian enough, I need to do something different, I need to put a white space right here, I need to make them seem more slanted, that's the problem. Like if you do your makeup and before your makeup you look white and after your makeup you look Asian or racially ambiguous, that's the problem. People unfortunately have the ability to look like a different race with spray tan, plastic surgery, or makeup, or even like changing the way their hair looks. You shouldn't be doing that. Like looking racially ambiguous is not the flex you think it is. A lot of people of color just think you look like a fucking clown. If Asians are coming into your comments saying that what you're doing is offensive, what you're doing is Asian fishing, you need to listen to them. And I'm not talking about non-Asian people speaking over Asian voices. Most of the time those people are wrong. If there are lots of Asian people coming to you saying like, hey, this is wrong, you should stop doing it, you should probably stop doing it. Like I understand that the compliments you get from white people are great, but why are you letting white people talk about Asian issues when they themselves do not experience the racism discrimination that actual Asians do? I addressed some of this in my last video, but some people are coming to the video saying like they don't understand why it's such a big problem. They attribute it to, I do my makeup how I want because I like it, so why should I care about your feelings about it? This way of thinking is very selfish and you need to think bigger than yourself. Think about how Asians face racism every day. They were bullied for a lot of their childhood just for not looking white, for having small eyes, for maybe having accents, and we still just face general xenophobia and racism every day. Think back to the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. Many Asians across the world were experiencing racism because everyone was blaming China for starting the pandemic, and it fed back into the really racist old way of thinking that Asians are dirty and gross and ew, they eat weird food that makes them inherently dirty. Just because of our looks and our culture, people hate us for no reason. even without like talking to us. We get racially profiled. We go to grocery stores minding our own business and people come up to us saying, "Speak English," or "Go back to your own country," even though like some of us were born and raised in America. Even if we are, it's still wrong to tell immigrants to go back to their own country. People get their nails done, they go to nail salons. The nail technicians, they'll talk in their own language, and then people will think it's okay to mock Asian accents because they think all Asians or people who don't speak English in front of them are talking shit about them. I had a friend in high school who thought that every time someone Filipino talked Tagalog in front of them that they were talking shit, and it was just not true. They were like talking about school. Not everything is about you, Taylor. The point is, people think the worst about us just because of our looks. And meanwhile, people who Asian fish do it because they'll get them more clout on the internet or to gain attraction from Asian men, which, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't work at all. Most of the time, Asian men are absolutely repulsed by people who are Koreaboos and weeaboos and try so hard to look Asian and like engage in the culture. Again, I said this in my last video. At the end of the day, you can take off your makeup and reap the benefits of white privilege while Asians still have to endure the racism. It's unfair that white people get to pick and choose which features to emulate while excluding the bad ones. You can blackfish and spray tan and make yourself look darker, but you don't have to deal with the consequences of being racially profiled because you are still white. You get to choose the features you want to steal from us. You don't have to deal with the racism that we get. And on top of that, when you try to fit in with the race you're trying to emulate, you perpetuate the harmful stereotypes that are forced onto us.
Okay, this girl is white, and you can be interested in Asian culture, fine, whatever, anime. But once you start perpetuating the stereotype that Asian American women are cutesy, childlike, and submissive, I have a problem with that.
For Asians, white people try to act all cute and submissive and innocent and modest and whatever the hell other attributes you force on Asians. Meanwhile, real Asians aren't like that at all. All you're doing is perpetuating the harmful stereotypes that we have to deal with. What you're doing isn't being invested in Asian culture or anything like that. You're just hurting us. And newsflash, if you don't know about this, all of us hate it. You're literally gaining no Asian's favor. Every single Asian sees through it, and we all genuinely cringe at it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, you're gonna be embarrassed in the future when you look back at yourself and you're like, oh my god, I actually acted like that. So just stop. In the future, like 5 years in the future, you're gonna think you're so dumb. Because by then, white people will have chosen a new trend to stick their noses in, you know? Because right now, I feel like fox eye trend, the Asian, like looking like an Asian is like the trend for now, but how long will that last? In the future, it's going to be something completely different. And when white people invade on the spaces of people of color, it blurs the lines between races and what's considered white passing. If you claim to be Asian or just appear racially ambiguous, other people will look at you and then another person of color and see that you have the same features, or maybe that the person of color doesn't have as exaggerated features as you are emulating, and they'll call that person of color white passing. You as a white person are choosing sort of the very, very stereotypical ethnic features, you know? But again, a lot of Asian people don't look like the stereotypical East Asian. I am Asian, but I'm not East Asian. I don't look like what these white girls are trying to emulate. So like, they'll see an Asian with bigger eyes and say like, oh, you're white passing. And it's just not true. This is a huge problem on TikTok especially. Ever since y'all use the term white passing, y'all will not shut up about it. In some cases, yes, there are people of color who are white passing, but that doesn't give every single white person the excuse to call every person of color white passing. Most of the time, those people who are calling people white passing are doing it because they see racially ambiguous white people on TikTok who blur those lines. You're doing damage to our communities and the ways that we are perceived. And if you just like stayed out of it, like we'd be making more progress, I guess, like with racism and discrimination and stereotypes. But all you guys are doing is perpetuating these stereotypes, and it's not helping us. I think my biggest fear in life is someone calling me white passing. Like, that is just the scariest thing I can think about. I think maybe if I had like lighter skin, if I were whiter, people would think I'm white, because I just don't look stereotypically Asian. And it's like frustrating that white people can appear to look more Asian than I am. And because of that, people will invalidate my race and ethnicity. I also want to touch on how it's mainly white people who think of Asians as like a trophy rather than an actual person. I talked about, the one type of white person who does this, which is the conservative white dude who goes, joins the military, off to the Philippines, and gets a Filipino wife and brings her back here to America. But there are also the people who are like, oh, I want to look Asian and be invested in Asian culture, like K-pop and anime, so that I can get an East Asian significant other. It's like they treat getting an Asian boyfriend or girlfriend like a prize to be caught, like a fish. And it's just like so disrespectful, because you're not doing us a favor. We all hate it. You're not treating us like humans. It's like we're just a trophy, a prize, a fish. We're not something to be won over. If someone wants to engage in a relationship with you, they'll do it for you, not because you look Asian or half Asian, or you're really into K-pop and anime and you think that gets you higher up on our list of white people we could probably date. I don't know. Think about how there are so many YouTube channels and TikTok accounts where the main focus of their content is because they are a mixed couple, an Asian and a white person. Personally, I know there are cases where people love who they love, and most of the time it doesn't even matter about race. Learning about how people's cultures mix after they get married is very interesting. There are some people who just turn them being into a mixed race couple as a gimmick or like a personality trait. It's kind of like how Trump supporters make being a Trump supporter their personality trait. It's like that. It's not a good thing. They profit off of the fact that they're a mixed couple, and that brings in other people who are like, oh my god, I want an Asian boyfriend or girlfriend so bad. I want mixed Asian babies. Mixed Asian babies are so cute. Gross. Like in my case, I'm Asian, I have a white boyfriend. Do you see me flaunting my relationship everywhere I go? Do you see my boyfriend flaunting our relationship everywhere he goes? When you look at my channel, do you even see him at all? Do you even see any topics about how our relationship is as a mixed race couple? No, because our relationship is just our relationship. We just happen to be the races that we are. I never went out with the intention of being like, oh, I want a white boyfriend so bad. He never went out with the intention of like, I want an Asian girlfriend so bad. Neither of us obsess over the fact that we're gonna maybe have mixed race babies in the future. That's so fucking weird. It's so weird. It's weird behavior. If anything, I'm more so concerned that his colonizer genes are gonna cover up mine, but that's a topic for another time. I don't treat him like a trophy. He doesn't treat me like a trophy. The center of our relationship isn't our races, and we don't make it our personality traits. That's just how it is. Like, we just happen to like each other at the same time, that's all. Also, as a last point, I wanted to bring up this lovely person who came into the comments of my last video, who maybe got mad at me for making the points that I made, and then just wanted to make people mad. They straight up admitted it. So if all you're gonna do is waste my time and be racist and make hate comments and then just leave. Like, don't waste your time, don't waste my time. If you do that, I'm just gonna end up deleting your comment, honestly. If you wanna argue with me and you did watch this whole video, or you just want to comment in general, comment a cow emoji if you made it all the way through. I'd appreciate that. Ending thoughts. This is how I want to end this. Okay. I just want you to know that if you do engage in Asian fishing, you're making a fool out of yourself. Everyone thinks you're a clown. Please just embrace your own natural beauty and your own features rather than imposing on our spaces. We don't want you here. Just mind your own business. Stop trying to look like a person of color. It's just embarrassing for you. It genuinely is. I have a class in like 30 minutes. Oh my god, I need to stop. Follow me on Instagram at sab.grey and Twitter at sabgdrey. I'm more active on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.